What's up everyone? Minto from Jasmine Software here. In today's video, we're going to talk about how you can manage your patient contact information and keep everything organized. To get to your contacts, you'll want to click on the Contacts tab here at the top. On the Contacts tab, you'll see your recently viewed contacts on the left-hand panel here. You can also change the view if you want to by clicking this drop-down and selecting a different type of view. So in this case, we'll do a table view and you'll see your complete list of contacts. I like to look at my contacts in the split view so I can see the list of contacts here, and then this main panel shows me the contact information that I've clicked on. Before we get to that, we'll look at how you can change views and what views are. So here in this drop-down, we have recently viewed contacts. This is what's called a list. You can create your own list, or there's already pre-created lists that you can look at. So if I want to look at all of my contacts, I'll click on the All Contacts list view here. I can also create a list for birthdays this month, or list of my own contacts in a multi-practitioner situation. If you want to only see your patients versus another practitioner's patients, you can separate those in different views as well. So let's look at the All Contacts, and this will show us all of contacts in the system, all of your patients, and then I can click on a patient's name here, and this will show me the patient's contact details. Before we get into the specifics of a particular contact details, in this case Eddie Long, there's a couple of buttons I want to show you before we do that. First is this drop down here, and you'll see that when you click on it, you have the option to create a new contact. You can also import contacts from other systems using a CSV file. So in the case you were previously on a different practice management system that allows you to export your data in comma separated variable called a CSV, which is a common spreadsheet format. You can open it up in Excel and view your data. You can take that CSV file and import that into Jasmine. Below the import, you can also print out your list of contacts that's in the system. Let's look at a contacts record. I want to choose my contact because I have more data in there, so it'll look better. So we'll go down here to my contact. And here's my contact record. As you can see, it's nicely laid out. You can see all of your data. One thing that's interesting about a lot of the data in the system is that you can create your own fields and you can add them to the contact, and they'll just show up, and you'll just be able to add your data into those fields, whatever you want, whatever data you want to collect. Now on the contact record, you'll notice that we have a set of buttons up here that are functions that you can act against on the record. You also have a quick view of some contact information, phone and email, and also the owner. So this will be the practitioner that owns the patient, and you'll see that information here. Now you also see a list of tabs as well. So the details are just going to be your normal patient details, like name, gender, birthday, email, phone number, stuff like that. If you scroll down a little bit, there's also information about insurance, employer, emergency contact information, stuff like that as well. If we go back up, let's look at the related tab. These are all the, look, we have a pop-up that just tells us that there might be a contact that is duplicate of this contact. So there's a couple duplicate matching algorithms in the system, so that if you create another contact with the same email address or something like that with the same name, the system will automatically flag it and notify you that maybe there's a duplicate contact that you might want to go look at, and you can do a merge for duplicate contacts. So back to the related tab. So here you'll see all of the related objects, what we call objects, but all of the related data to this contact. So you'll see all of this patient's SOAP notes here, their intake forms that they filled out, all the receipts that you've created for the patient, as well as any surveys the patient has filled out. And then in the notes and attachment, this is where all of the sign forms will show up. So like your COVID-19 forms, if you have one, your informed consent, your physician evaluation, and all of your HIPAA consent forms will show up here. You can also upload your own files to this area as well. Below that, we have notes. So this is where you can create your own notes that you want to collect about certain things. Maybe they have a prescription or something that you want to write in. Now let's go back up to the list of tabs and click on the activity tab. This is where you get to see a timeline of various activities that have happened with your patient. And you'll see, different dates, and you'll see the activity that are associated with this patient. So, an email was sent to this patient, and you can click into that and you can see the details of the email. You can also see the appointment that was scheduled with the patient. And what's nice is that you get to see the little icon that tells you what kind of object it is. And if I click on the drop-down menu here, you see the start and the end date of that appointment. And you can also click on the subject of the appointment here. That'll take you to the actual appointment. And then if we take a look back up at the top, you'll notice that there are also two sub-tabs here. One is email. So if you want to quickly compose an email to this patient, you can click on that and enter the email here and send it off to the patient. Always keep in mind, email is inherently insecure, so you don't want to send any HIPAA sensitive information through email. But if it's just a regular email that you're sending off to see how the patient's doing, that's definitely fine. And once you send the email, you'll see the activity below where we saw the timeline, and you'll have a record of it. Also, if you click on the log a call, this is an area where you can take details if your patient calls you on the phone and maybe they wanted to update a prescription or something like that and you wanted to keep track of the phone call. You can do that here in the log a call and save that to the activities down below. Now let's go back to the top and talk about the various buttons that you have access to on the contact record. So the first button is the edit. And the edit will put the whole record into an edit mode where you can edit all of the fields at once. You can also edit individual fields, and let me kind of show you that real quickly. So I'm going to go to the details tab here. And let's say, for example, we wanted to update the description field. So I can double click on the description field and that'll take us into edit mode as well. And then you can edit this field and make changes. And then when you're done, click on the Save button, which will save the record into the database. The next button that we have up here is the Delete. So if you ever need to delete a record, you can do that. We also have the History button. The History button allows you to see the most recent prescriptions or herbal prescriptions that you've prescribed to the patient in your soap notes. So it'll go through and look at all of your soap notes. It'll pull out the date, the actual soap note record. So if you click on it, you can jump to that soap note. It will also have the herbal product or supplement or whatever you prescribed here in the product list. And then the provider who completed the soap note. So if you have a multi-practitioner practice and you share patients, and one practitioner treated a patient one day and create a soap note, that would show up here and you'd be able to see that. Going back up, if you click on the Save Card button, this will allow you to capture your patient's credit card without charging it. So here you can save the card for a future usage if you want to charge a patient's credit card or keep it on file, stuff like that. Next is the Send Intake button. This will allow you to electronically send the intake to your patient via email for your patients to fill out at home. There's a couple options here. You can send the complete intake with the health history as well as the sign forms, or you can just send the health history by itself. If you want to send the individual forms without the health history, you can select the sign forms radio button, and from here you can select the sign forms you want to send to your patient, and then just click send and they'll send an email. Next is the check coverage. So if your practice takes insurance and your insurance company provides this feature to you, you can check the coverage of your patient. So here, I have a couple insurance that I've set up for this patient, and I can select one, and then I can check that patient's coverage, in this case with Blue Cross Blue Shield. And of course, this is demo data since I'm on a test system, but it will pull the demographic information of this patient as well as his or her plan, and then show you the in and out of network information for that patient. Okay. And next we have the send survey. I'm not going to click on this because it'll send a survey, but if you want to send a survey to your patient so they can fill out and give you feedback on the treatment and their visit, you can do that as well. That's what I wanted to talk about with managing your patient contact information. If you'd like me to do a deep dive into any of the features you saw today and make videos about that, please let me know. Share this video with your colleagues so they know that there's software out there to help them in their practice. Like and subscribe for future videos, and hit the bell to get notified when new videos are posted. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.